That's what I'm talking about. Best play. Britannia! It's Forza Horizon 4. But we are, of course, talking about Forza Horizon 6 and how these games link into Forza Horizon 6. That's right, ladies and gents, countdown to FH6. Now, you might be thinking, Theo, didn't we already place Forza Horizon 4? Yes, we did. Very keen-eyed of you, I would say. Look at that in the nice little B there. But things may move and reposition as we go through. My friends, we are heading to Fortune Island. This, to me, was a pretty controversial DLC. My initial takeaway of this was that it was stupid. It was pointless, unnecessary, added nothing to the game other than some really cool cars and one cool road. But we must dissect it again now it has been, well, many years. This came out in 2018. We are almost a decade from when this came out. What do you mean? All right, let's get started with it then. Where are we going to begin with this? It's got a big old rock in the middle of the map. It's a pretty small island. If anything, I feel like this was one of the smallest expansions that came out at the time for a racing game. Let's look at the map and see if I can remember. Okay, no. Yeah, I do remember. So the roads were really thinned out. It was an island that didn't have any populated dense areas. Yeah, it genuinely feels like they drew a singular road and then connected them, and that's the DLC area. It's really small in terms of road usage. You do have the extreme weather, the northern lights. That's really cool. We've seen an effect of that recently in the UK, like for the last year or two. You've been able to like look up at the night sky and actually see something very similar. It's not the northern lights, but it looks it's close. People go mad on Instagram posting it, and I'm like, I don't see it. Usually it's because you don't. You need a phone, which is kind of dumb. I guess we should probably check it out. So this was actually the biggest, like, you can even see right now, still ongoing, the biggest switchback road that they'd added. Man, they made it really rough. I don't know why it's such a, like, a rough little thing. Anyway, switchback road, drifting, finally, they listened to the community and heard that they actually wanted some technical, difficult roads that they could drift down and have a lot of fun. That trend was then obviously continued in Forza Horizon 5, and they've realized that having mountain roads down mountains is probably a good idea. And I'm glad they learned that lesson before we went to Japan and not after. If anything, this links to like the toge systems that are going to be in the game. In fact, actual dedicated toge events, which is really awesome. And it was, again, an actual return to a little bit more of elevation when it comes to actual roads, opposed to, you know, the Hot Wheels. Not everything needs to be wacky crazy. It needs to be a genuine height advantage. You can see the rest of the map. There's basically no trees. It's very, very barren. I know it's the kind of not actual mud of the mountain, therefore there's no trees that are growing. There are actually some trees over there. But I can't help but feel it looks a little dead without any trees going up it. Come on, you could have faked it a little bit. You could have made it up a little bit. Like how Need for Speed in Need for Speed Heat. Miami is very flat, but the surrounding, a million miles away, is not. So they kind of blended it into one. I do have to say, as a now city liver in the UK, I do kind of miss these like cottagey looking buildings. They are really cool. You got these little driveways going into it. This is 2 ways. Yep, it literally is 2 ways. You got enough space here to park. This is a pub. This is definitely a pub. See, this is why we use public transit everywhere. We've got enough spaces here for maybe 5 cars. And then it's full. Otherwise, you gotta drive over the grass and there's just something peaceful about looking at these buildings. Honestly, the environment team on this next game are the absolute carry for the game. It looks incredible. The diverse terrains and stuff absolutely is the pull for me. Even if the rest of the game is genuinely okay, it has the nice progression, obviously. But overall, the environment, I'm actually really excited to explore a new map. I feel like when it comes to racing games, we haven't really had a very good map for a racing game since Need for Speed Heat, I would say, is like the top map in a racing game that I can think of. So I think I've been fairly positive so far. That's been quite nice. They added the ultimate fan service road to the point where people are genuinely still using it. On some of the other DLCs, even in Forza Horizon 5, I didn't see any single real player. I don't think I did anyway. Now, they had these really cool, crazy road, the dirt road along the side. So they did a cool rally road, they did a cool drift road, and beyond that, the rest of the map was quite frankly not great. Hang on, I haven't done the Kraken. That should kind of show you what happened here. What is that? It's a road race? It's a road race. I haven't done the road race. Are you kidding me? As much as I complain about collectibles, that was kind of the focus with this expansion. There were sort of like, what, riddles in the game, and you had to find the chests, and then you get the prize that was related to the chest. Some of them were in... how do you even get over here? What? How do I... There's got to be a way, right? Maybe it's quite shallow. But, you know, it was a new way to play. And that's, once again, a thing I would love to see them do in the main map. It's kind of frustrating. I think that's what we've been realizing as we go through the actual expansions. Surely, in pretty much every case, it would be better to include this in the main game. But if this was the first time they properly integrated a system like this where it tracked things that you do, and I believe it was, so you drive a certain distance or they tracked like driving A to B. The crew introduced this a little bit before. They seem to both introduce at the same time. The amount of data that they can now extract from you just playing the game passively is absolutely wild. And I don't think we even begin to comprehend how much data they're pulling if they can just track this stuff. But I think we should do the Kraken, the race series. I haven't done it. So let's spend all my money to fast travel to it because I'm lazy. But collectibles were not for me, but I've clearly done them all. So clearly the reward was enough in a way that normally Forza's rewards aren't. Barn finds, I don't bother with. I'll usually only bother with barn finds. Ooh, I remember this being good. If I'm just happen to be nearby. The smash boards, the XP board, you can see I'm still spending 8 grand to fast travel. I don't bother with it because the money is so abundantly available. I feel like there's no need to really bother collecting them. And I think that means I don't do the collectibles. It's not a me problem. It's a game design problem. But let's get on with it. Let's get this race done. I've not done this, and this is a whole tour of the map. Why have I not done this? It's like the last race, and I have it unlocked. The Kraken. Let's see if I regret my choice of vehicle, but maybe not. Now, I do remember one car that was added. I am not going to regret this car choice. That's for sure. Holy... But we're going to get a nice little express tour of the extreme weather. I think one of the reasons why it was hard for me to get super excited about the extreme weather updates that they did in Forza, it's because Drive Club just smashed it, mate. Drive Club whipped out of nowhere, and it's still to this day stunning. The most beautiful racing game that exists. And I just kind of wish we got these extreme weathers in the main map. Imagine this in Tokyo. This amount of downpour, this amount of like thunder and lightning. It's cool. It just bothers me that I don't see it on the main map as much. I want the extremity. I want like a storm, but it needs to be very rare that it happens so it feels exciting. I think that would be a nice way to do it. Right, we're doing the climb, but we're not in a drift car. We're in a... Oh! It's fine. Back on it. It's all right. Yeah, I think the problem with these roads... And I found the same situation with Forza Horizon 5's expansion. Although they're really good for drifting, when it comes to Forza's normalcy, they pretty much, usually, you're in supercars or hypercars the whole time. So it makes it difficult to actually enjoy these roads. And again, maybe that links to Forza Horizon 6 in a way, because I found the same situation in FH5 where I jumped to the fast cars because that's what you do in Forza without restrictions. And then all of a sudden, you realize the car isn't very fun because it's just too fast for these roads. I'm just going to cut across it most of the time, like I am here. I don't understand why they changed these raindrops. The raindrops on this car wing right now, although they're not dynamic and moving, kind of as they should be as the car is at motion, it looks sexy. I feel like the raindrops in this DLC are better than they were later in the game. I want to see the streams, like Drive Club. I want to see them... drive across. I want to see the wipers like swish that water around. Man, it must be so lonely living in a house like that. Could not be me. City man cheese, that's what we're doing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, that's another fast one. Yeah, so the car they added that I remember the most, was it a Celine? I think it was a new Celine. I think it was the first time I've ever heard of this new Celine, and it was stunning. Have to say, I almost forgot what the AI was like previously. We still complain about it, and they do the one person ahead thing, but it's... This was much more dramatic. Bro's in his own race! Wait, I do remember that castle. That's probably just someone's house. Where I'm assuming we are is kind of on the Isles above Scotland. Would make the most sense, right? I don't think it would be anywhere else. So it's going to be a little colder, a little wetter. Scotland, different thing entirely. You think England's bad? Oh, mate. I'm talking about weather, just to be clear here. I like Scotland. The Scottish have the proper patriotism that we should copy. Because our patriots are... Yeah, we'll move on. The Scottish don't feel the need to go on bloody flag. Oh, look at these very beautifully clean, clear conscience light posts. What incredible roundabouts you have here. They don't have shit cheap paint all over there. Anyway, carrying on. 160k. It's still Forza, ladies and gents. The fact I've never done that race before, I don't understand. That was a cool race. It was around the whole island. It took about 3 minutes. That's as long as a normal race on the normal island. I told you, that island is kind of small. I'm trying to find that Celine, though. That has me tickled. There she is, the S5S Raptor 2010. Mate, I said new as if it was a new car. I mean, it was new to my brain. Most other games don't get cars like this. Oh, this is actually stunning. Yeah, I don't really like playing games in the dark by choice. But if you get me a sunrise, sunset, the beautiful seagulls. I say beautiful. Seagulls, do you know, have you seen England seagulls? They are like bigger than me. But then this is nice and calm, the ambient sounds. Is that a tractor? Yep. We are in the United Kingdom, that's for sure. Here we go. This was the treasure hunts. So if I click on them, can I? It's a shame you can't repeat them, actually. And I'm ranking these as a replay experience, if you will. So you've got the My Horizon Life, which is where the core of the, like, progression is. Bro, no way. They've got the mixer stuff still in here. Oh, that is crazy. What a throwback that is. They were properly just trying to boost their numbers with this. It is so funny to think about that. Holy crap. Someone should do a deep dive on that one day. So advantage, this introduced the unified progression. So for the first time in a while, what they let you do is actually progress towards your main island stats using this island. Overall, that's a pretty cool idea. Problem is, it does detach it a little bit. We've got the Leviathan. I guess we're going to do that as well. Yes, it contributed to your global rank, but at the same rate, after you've done it, what else is there really to do? Oh, mate. That's what I'm talking about. That looks stunning, though. Wow. That is so sick. And I love these houses. Man. Beautiful. What a place to get to live in. I know it seems super early to talk about it. We've got another probably half a decade before we ever see the announcement of the next Forza game. So I kind of wonder, where do we go? Why does the R8 sound better in this game than it does in Forza Horizon 5? That always completely just shocks me. I don't understand how games worsen their sound sometimes. This sounds a little bit more meaty, actually. It sounds like I'm sat outside the car, but I am, technically. How do you even decide where to go after Japan? That's going to be such a monumental task for them. Oh, yeah, this is supposed to be an off-road race. Well, I did pick an all-wheel drive car, so at least we do have that. Who would have thought? GTR up front. Is that an FF? What's a... Apparently, you can actually get those for under 100 now. Doesn't surprise me. It really does bother me that in the world, when you come to wanting to buy a cool car from your childhood, and finally you get to the age in where you're like, you know, it's not a supercar, it's not the best car in the world, but all of a sudden the car that you really, really wanted is when you were younger and it was just cheap. For example, you're 34. When I got to like early 20s, that was still an attainable car. It was more expensive than some others, but you could get one for like, what, 30 grand? Under 30 grand? That is literally not possible now. Even in like rust bucket form. You're looking like 150 grand. Old cars just got cheaper. That's what happened. It's old now, and I need a new one. So I'm gonna sell my car for less money because it is worth less than when I bought it. Because I've used it. It's old. As cars have become like rare and collective and it's kind of just ruined it, to be honest. In no matter the situation, no matter what you like, what your preference is, cars are literally just a tool that are forced upon us, a requirement for most people in America, in Japan in a lot of cases, and in the north of England, everywhere but London and like Manchester. They're a requirement for you to get around because our governments did not bother investing in infrastructure that actually matters. And then you take them and try and make profit from them. It's kind of disgusting. It's so disgusting. It's just the philosophy of more people enjoy things, more better. I want everyone to be able to experience the cool things that I've experienced. The more I can share those experiences with other people, the better. Everyone should get to feel what it's like to drive an R8. I put my foot down that thing on the Autobahn. Holy. By the way, to get to that, I beat Slap Train on a sim rig time trial. Yeah, your boy, that was a long time ago. You know, maybe Slap's a little bit better now, but no. I beat him. I won. Put your foot down in this thing, and it's just like, it skips down a gear, and you just get this absolute warp speed feeling. Even though you're not actually going, like, fast, you're just accelerating quickly, and that's the big thing there. This race is longer than the other one. That I didn't expect. Bro, what do you think you're doing? You've got less cylinders. You're crap. Go away. Get lost. The mad thing that you don't process is that although cars are expensive, right? The cars that you want, they're expensive. When you look at the graph of inflation of costs of electronics, there's a graph I found. See if I can find that again. You look at the cost of electronics. It's cheaper than ever to buy a computer, even incorporating the ridiculous RAM increases and storage cost increases. It is still cheaper by a massive amount to buy yourself a computer. It is cheaper than ever. The PS5 consoles are cheaper than the earlier PlayStation consoles. Again, based on inflation. And then cars. Cars? Also, actually not crazy. It's wild to think that a lot of cars are still getting cheaper. I mean, especially when you think about Chinese EVs. Basically, it seems like everything that China touches becomes more affordable. Everything that the services industry and, you know, probably the most important category that exists, housing, those all get more expensive. Yeah. So, you know, I don't want to say anything more. You can take your own takeaway from this. But basically, I want cars to be able to be more affordable, and I want everything to be more affordable. That's kind of how it was supposed to work, wasn't it? Right? Didn't really work out that way so far. This may be the best race on the island. Gorgeous. Started late at night. Gone through the sunrise. Now we're running back to the coastline. Come on, turn. Don't you dare, FF. Pregnant Ferrari, bugger off. Get lost. What a terrible choice of car. Wait, you can do multiple laps of this. 8 minutes. That's twice as long almost as the other event. That's kind of wild. Forza Horizon 4, not Storm Island. My brain wants to say Storm Island. It's not quite Storm Island, but it's basically the same idea. This felt like Storm Island 2 at the beginning, but as a re-explore, it's pretty simple. There's not really much to do, but the big events, really nice, actually. Anyway, let's see where it lands on our table. There she is, Fortune Island. Right, where's it gonna land? I'm gonna say C. Look, as much as I enjoyed my time on it today, I still think it's not as impactful as something like this. You should watch that one. It's a good one.